Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches, you wonderful, lonely people, you. I'll let you get away with two without it. Two videos without it. And we're in the stretch. We're in the stretch of smaller chunks of story that are going to be awesome.
I was stunned at how short this arc. I'm going to put arc in quotation marks. I mean,
yeah.
This section of story almost felt like filler.
Yeah.
Almost, except that there was one chapter that, honest to goodness, we could have done in it. We could do a 45-minute video on one chapter.
Just by itself.
Right.
Yes.
So, what are we calling this? Because I looked it up online. This is Sabaody.
I think most people call it Sabaody.
Sabaody.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we're outside our normal studio for those of you who just come in for the One Piece stuff because Dad has had surgery on his leg, so I had to come to a secret location which happened to have a Christmas tree because it's December when we're filming this. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Yes,
We have a special video dropping on Christmas Eve that I think you'll enjoy. We just got done, so check it out.
Yep.
Tune in on Christmas. It'll be funny. You'll like it.
So I can't handle the staircase right now at our regular location. So we'll be back there in January.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Indeed.
this is going to be our last One Piece drop of the year.
Yes, the last one of 2025.
Yes. So but I will keep reading
more in 2026.
And
fun.
Where we leave the story up, I have to tell you, is a tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah.
I'm just, I read one chapter too long.
Yes.
Right. So
you read one into the next section.
Into the next section,
Yep.
I got to the Amazon island, so I'll tell you this. This is where I see we're going to be all over today because my notes are all over today.
Yes.
But I will tell you this: Luffy lands in the giant paw print, which I thought was really interesting considering who transported him.
Yes.
Okay. So he lands in a giant paw print. You see this huge warthog come up.
Yep.
That's 10 times bigger than him. And I said, "Eat the warthog." That was the first thought I had, was eat the warthog. Yep. And then, you see him being threatened by this thing as he's trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, I turn the page and eat the warthog. And then it was like 2 pages later, you see Fat Luffy, skeleton of the warthog. He's pulling a bone out of his mouth saying, "I'm so glad Grandpa dropped me in the jungle."
Yeah. This reminds me of when Grandpa dropped me in the jungle.
Yeah, and then he says, but I don't want to think about that, or something along those lines. So I thought that was hysterical, but I found myself shouting at the pages, "Eat the warthog!"
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah,
that belongs on a T-shirt. Let's copyright that one. Eat the warthog.
Just have a generic Pumbaa silhouette. Just enough to get through the copyright.
How many videos are we going to have to go through to find all of our merch ideas that we never write down?
Yeah, we never write down.
Yeah, because we're not really serious about it.
There's a couple.
So okay. Wow, I didn't know what to expect in this one. I thoroughly surprised.
Yeah.
Thoroughly entertained when we got through the punch.
Yep.
The punch.
Let's start with it.
Let's just get it out of the way. One of the things that I wanted to do and I did not get done was I wanted to pull up the picture of the Bellamy punch. Okay.
Because they're very comparable.
And I think there's a part of me that says the Bellamy punch was my first.
Yes.
So your first was always special.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed it. But I was thinking about, because when I got to the St. Charlos punch, which is the very last page of this volume.
Yes.
Which is, talk about a cliffhanger. This is the very last page of the volume. And I was just like, holy cow.
So good.
If I didn't have this one waiting in the wings, I'd have been really frustrated.
Yeah.
But this is emotionally satisfying, and I don't know that it's necessarily the artwork. I don't know that it's the motivation behind the punch.
Oh, 100%.
Because the Bellamy punch has to do with, I know for a fact in our video, I described it as he's mindlessly cruel.
Yes.
Right? This has to do with slavery. This has to do with horrible abuse. This has to do with devaluing human life.
Yes.
Which makes it so much more satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I think kind of threw me about it was Hachin makes them promise, don't get involved.
Yep.
Right? Everybody's afraid of the celestial dragons.
Yeah, you can also call them the world nobles.
World nobles. That might be easier.
It might be easier because See, I can't do it.
Yeah, I know, it's really tough.
I'm gonna call them the world nobles. I know that can probably be applied to multiple people, I think, but I'm gonna call them the world nobles.
Just for the purposes
just for
of
the
this.
convenience of being able to speak.
I was surprised that Luffy broke his promise. It truly was. He made a promise. He broke it. Okay. I'm
not.
But I'm not surprised that he would take on these world nobles because he took on Ennie's lobby. He took on the government. He shot down the flag of the world government. He's already staked his claim. So taking on the nobles really isn't that big of a deal.
In his mind at the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I understand why he does it, but wow, was that an incredibly satisfying.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so like, drawing back to Bellamy, because it does get compared to the Bellamy punch. A lot. Because there's similarities you can draw. Bellamy was like mindless cruelty, but, I mean, so is Charlos, and I would think that's a more literal description of, say, Charlos, is because Bellamy is cruel, because Bellamy believes he's stronger than people, and he's actually got some power where he's at a certain point, there's a certain expectation that he is valid in having, that he is stronger than people. Right. He has just enough power that the confidence, the cockiness, you can kind of understand why he has that headspace. He's arrogant, and it cost him. He's too cocky. He's at least got power, though. So you can understand what would get him into that mindset.
Sure. And he's he's ultimately a petty thief.
Exactly, because he's ultimately a petty thief.
He stole gold.
Yes.
That was it.
St. Charlos is literally drawn as a worthless, Oda makes it so clear that these people are nothing more than the most giant spoiled children.
Yes.
And the punch proves it. He can't do anything. He's not like the nobles are not powerful in their own right. Like Charlos isn't, his family isn't. Their status is what gives them their power.
Yes.
Their status is what makes them feared, and they're spoiled children.
Yes, they are.
Luffy just smacked the spoiled child at the birthday party.
Yes, he did.
And I think that part of it is what makes it so satisfying, is because I think at a certain level, everyone can relate to wanting to smack someone who's so blatantly spoiled upside the head and smack a little reality into them.
I put a note on the bottom of one of my pages, and for those of you who we're going to put up a couple pictures of my notes. I took a couple of pages. Mm-hmm. You will appreciate the lengths I went to in my notes on this one, because I had to. I literally had to start by making a cast of characters.
Yes.
It's 2 pages long.
I believe it.
There are so many characters get dropped down here.
Introduced here.
But
I'll tell you the story of that too.
What's that?
Once we get through your notes.
Oh, well,
I'll tell you the story of Oda creating the supernovas, because it's incredible.
So Shalria exclaims, "Brother Charlos, even father has never laid a hand on him." And I just wrote, that explains so much. I mean, it's just what you described.
Well, it also, you made the same observation in the very beginning of this story with Axe Hand. You were never worth beating, is what Axe Hand says to
Helmeppo.
And but now you've got it's similar. It's not the same, but it's similar.
It's a similar theme when when you do not discipline your children, you raise spoiled brats. I think that's a universal concept in parenting. I think it's a universal concept in all cultures. It's got to be, because it's human nature. And so you look at it, and Oda does such a phenomenal job of understanding human nature and applying it. And now these are very one-dimensional characters right now.
I think that they are the world nobles are supposed to be.
Okay, so I don't know, whether they come back. Do they become more complex? Do they present a bigger challenge?
In ways,
But I mean, these were cardboard cutouts that were knocked over.
Yes.
And when they were knocked over, it revealed a level of power. Okay, and so here's the thing that I truly appreciated about this, and I've got it buried in here somewhere. Everybody kept saying to the Straw Hats, "You're not ready for the new world. You have no idea what you're getting into." And as a reader, I was like, how bad could it be? Then you see this arc, and you see what happens to them, and you see how this battle goes. And suddenly it's like, I sat back and asked myself, it's just said, maybe they aren't ready for the new world. I mean, that was so talk about good storytelling. When you take away from your main character his entire support network and pretty much reduce him to nothing, and then make him move forward from there. That's classic storytelling.
Yes.
Okay? And
it's a tried and true method.
Yes.
That works.
Yes, and so using it works well. Now, I can't even imagine, with Oda's creativity, with this wild imagination, and I can't even begin to guess where he's going to send these 9 crew members and what directions they're going to go. I'm not even trying to, okay? Because I saw Luffy land on Amazon Island, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a hoot. And, okay, so he got out of the way the mushroom pulling joke.
Yes. Yes.
It's made of rubber. I'm like, I realized that with Luffy's ability to go like this and make parts of his body larger, let's just say that he could be really popular on that island with a lot of different women. Because they got tall ones and short ones. He could be in high demand. Okay, I got that joke out of the way.
I don't think you realize how. Just. I'm not saying you're on the right path. You're in the right direction. You'll find this section of story very entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah. You will.
But I will
you'll find it's Amazon Lily. You'll find Amazon Lily entertaining. There's a character coming that I think you're gonna like.
I think I saw her name.
Boa Hancock. Did you see that name?
I saw the name Amazon Lily.
That's the name of the island.
Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah. That's the island. Okay,
there's
so
a character called Boa Hancock. She's coming in like 2 chapters. I don't care. Well, I'm not giving any spoilers away by saying her name.
I read to the end of 514, so
yeah. You'll like that character.
Okay.
I think you'll like that character. I have a feeling you'll like the character, or you'll absolutely hate that character. We'll find out.
So on this kind of, before we really get going in here, is I collected the thoughts as we moved into that.
Mm-hmm.
So you see everybody get swatted away by Kuma, which was really just it was just cool. The entire time.
Cool. That's an interesting viewpoint. And to be fair, if you watch this, there's a lot more despair in that scene. If you watch it in the anime.
Well, okay, so, let me clarify my thoughts on that one. I mean, first of all, from the beginning, and we've talked about this before, because I know there's so much more story coming,
yes,
I don't feel the sense of imminent threat.
Okay.
However, the despair, the fear, the panic
Okay.
of the crew running for their lives and then stopping and turning and going back because they see one of their crewmates, needs help. This is the first time in the story where they are truly, genuinely threatened and they can't do anything about it. You see the despair in the artwork. They are helpless. So the face that shows it the most is Nami.
You know what broke me in this on a reread?
What?
It's because Nami's... Fuck. What broke me is Nami is starting to say, help me to Luffy.
Yes.
That broke me.
No, she does say, she
doesn't even get to finish it. And she's like, she's not the last one. Robin's the last one. I think Robin's the last one. Robin. Which also kind of hurts.
Yeah. Okay, so...
knowing what they went through to get Robin back... That also hurt. The entire scene kind of hurts.
The entire scene kind of hurts.
But Nami and Robin really hurt.
Okay, so as oh yeah, it's this
too.
one. It's this one right here.
I'll flash it. Yeah,
it's that.
It's the moment of help, and then she gets cut off.
So now you got
in
your eyes
and
sucks.
Oh, fuck.
So you've got this picture of him on his knees, right? I couldn't,
I couldn't save any of them. Some of the translations say, I couldn't save my crew, I couldn't save my Nakama.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
No.
And you know what it did?
What?
You know what I was waiting for? You had this entire discussion when you were talking about Gecko Moria.
Oh, I'm going to Gecko Moria right now.
I know you were.
I knew it.
Because I literally put in, as you were talking about that moment, in the, I forgot that I was wearing my hoodie, and then
I know, we were supposed to change in between.
There we go. Boom. There you go. One Piece shirt.
I was wondering if you'd noticed. We did not pre-coordinate.
I completely forgot. No, I knew. I literally put a zoom in on me struggling internally.
Oh, well, okay.
Because of that scene. Because you were 100% right when you were saying if Luffy lost all his crew, he would be distraught. And it was only an arc away. You 100% called it. You were true, and that's why the struggling internally or screaming internally. Because I'm like,
I saw that when your mom and I watched when we watched the episode, and I saw that, and I was thinking to myself, okay, which way is he going with this? Am I completely wrong, or am I?
Because I know you watched these, so I'm like, I purposely make them vague.
Yeah.
I purposely make them vague. That one was very much a. He's so right. I want to tell him he's so right, but I can't.
So, So I got to this, and when you watch him, does he feel pain? Does he feel despair? Yes, he does.
Oh,
is he crying?
Most.
Right?
Yes.
Is he gonna go the same direction of Gecko? No. And it's proven. Just look at Fat Luffy eating that warthog. I mean, Luffy flying through the air asleep with the snot bubble was hysterical,
Yeah.
I mean, so there's so much going on, and I guarantee you we're going to see Luffy. He will miss his friends. He will deal with what's going on, but he's going to be the new Luffy we know and love in this new place that he's at. And I can't imagine that Oda is going to substantially change Luffy's character to the point where
I will say you are going to, this part, I'm genuine, I know for a fact, you are going to love what happens to this stretch of story.
Okay.
I think you will be slightly surprised.
Probably.
But you will love what is to come.
So
that is all I'll say about it, because we all know exactly what's coming. We know why it works, and we know all of that. And I can't wait for you to get there.
Okay.
You are going to sink your teeth into it.
Okay.
I can already tell with the way you've latched onto so much. You are going to sink your teeth into this section of story, and you are going to devour it. Well, it's going to be amazing.
So there's one character here at the end of this that I was really concerned about, that I am really concerned about.
Yeah.
And because of everything that's taken place here at the end, and I'm just wondering, can you guess? Because I think you'll be surprised. The character I'm the most concerned about.
The character you're most concerned about. Straw Hat?
Yeah.
The Straw Hat you're most concerned about. Brook?
Sunny.
Oh, fuck. You know, I really like that you included that as a Straw Hat.
And I didn't mean to lead you
you're
astray.
Right. You're right. No, that's okay.
Wait,
you're right. I would not have guessed it. I would have guessed Brook because newest member. Sunny.
So
you're right. God. Worried about the boat! Worried about the boat! It's the boat! It's 2 boats! Yeah! 2 boats! He makes you care about both of them. You are so... Everyone goes through that phase of like, I can't get used to the Sunny. And then by the time you get out of Thriller Bark, you're like, I love Sunny. Sunny is new Mary. I love Sunny. Sunny is amazing. And now we're worried about him.
So Mary taught me to think of the boat as a character.
Yes.
Right? And then you see the brilliance of Frankie.
Yes.
You see the main spinning backwards and the boat moving backwards, right? It's this bag of unlimited tricks that Oda
it's
has
Felix
with
the cat in a boat form.
Yes, it is. That's a great way of describing it. And so
who got that reference?
9 people go. We are assuming 9 different directions. I'll be interested to see if anybody ends up in the same place. I would imagine that Zoro is going to go back to his dojo. Now, I know you can't, right, reveal anything, but Kuma asked him, if you could travel anywhere, where would you like to go? And my very first thought was, what is the most important moment of Zoro's young life? And the first thing that came to mind was his dojo with his late friend who
it's a good thought process.
Yeah, I mean that was
a good thought process.
That was my very first, and then as I'm thinking about everything else, I can't think of where else he would want to go to. So
I kept it blank for that one.
Yeah,
so I know exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, so on this one, I don't mind making a couple of predictions on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's going 9 different directions, and your mom said to me that this is the start or getting close to the start of the 2-year time skip. Now,
ish.
I kind of wish she hadn't said it because it made me wonder, is the Sunny going to be abandoned for 2 years by the Straw Hats against their will? That was the thing that came to mind. And then I went back and I reread it and I'm like, okay, who's going to protect Sunny until the crew gets together? Is it going to be Shaky? Is it going to be Rayleigh? Is it going to be the Flying Riders? I'm guessing it's going to be Rayleigh. If I had to put my money on anyone protecting Sunny, it would be Rayleigh. But yeah, like, everybody can take care of themselves, but who's taking care of the ship? That's where I'm at.
Well, the ship will be taken care of, so.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, because
because
you can't have a pirate crew without a ship, although we did for a brief period.
We did for a brief period, and they were a wreck.
Yes, they were. So, wow. I went through and I made my 2-page cast of characters so that I could track all of these rookies, these newcomers,
So you want the story before we get into that?
Yeah, sure.
So, when Oda initially, apparently, this is what was said, when Oda initially was writing the Sabaody storyline, apparently, this is what was said, is that the editors thought that there wasn't enough meat to it. I don't know how you think that with everything else that they drop here.
Sure.
But they thought that it just didn't have enough, like the stakes weren't there's something, there wasn't enough there. So in one night, Oda sat down and drew all the other rookies, which are now known as the Supernovas.
Right.
All of them. all of them that get their own like flashcard.
Yes.
He drew all of them in a night and then incorporated them into the story.
Wow. Well, that would explain why, for the first time in the novel, or in the manga, you get page by page by page with a person every page, right? Yes. That would explain that.
Yes.
I kept turning the pages and getting more characters, and I realized I've got to write these people down, or I'm never going to keep track of them.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
So, and then I read a quote in the start of one of the chapters. No, it wasn't. It was one of the SBSs, where Oda said that his artists and his assistants draw all the backgrounds, but he draws all the characters, because if the same person isn't drawing all the characters in their movements, that you will notice differences. And so,
can you imagine keeping track of having to draw this many unique characters?
No, I cannot.
That's an immense talent.
It's a level of talent.
And it's a level of dedication.
Right.
Holy crap.
Well, so if you've ever seen the principal voice actor, Seth, is it Seth? Who does Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth
Who does like half the cast of Family Guy.
And you watch him slip between voices. He's also slipping between characters, characterizations, vocal inflections. I mean, that is immense talent.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the same thing tenfold because of how many different characters he's drawing.
Yep.
So, yeah, it truly is talent.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Question, just a random tangent. Capone Gang Beige.
Yeah.
You like as a Chicago person, you like the Al Capone nod? Because it's 100%.
Yeah, no,
it's not subtle.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a Capone nod. To be totally honest with you, no.
Yeah.
I didn't.
A little too on the nose?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little too fourth wall break, because I know the Capone stories so well.
Okay.
All right. So, my parents moved from the north side of Chicago to a town called Cicero, and Cicero was a town where Capone hung out, and so there were a lot of stories about Capone. There were a lot of homes that were reported to have been owned by or lived in by Capone. If you go into the history books and you read about Al Capone, you'll read about a hit on Cermak Road at the Cermak Hotel. Now, the hotel...
I've driven past that hotel several times. Right, okay. Yeah.
So the hotel's gone now, I believe.
Yeah, I've driven past the spot, yeah.
But there was, and I don't know if forgive me if I've told this story before, but
you have.
The history books say that there was a hit made on Capone in that hotel. The gang that was putting the hit on didn't know for certain he was there, but in the brilliance of their planning, they sent 3 or 4 cars past the hotel with Tommy guns loaded with blanks, and they fired to draw all of Capone's men to the windows, and the next 3 cars had cars loaded, and they just unloaded on the front of the building. So the building had, and I've walked by it a couple times, all the chink marks in the concrete and in the brickwork.
Wow.
I mean, they never repaired all of those. All right. So
I mean, that's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. If you're the hotel owner, you're like, no, we're keeping it.
Yeah,
we're keeping it.
We'll get some tourists here to see that.
Oh yeah,
100%. So, but also I grew up with, and here's a wild tangent for you.
Yeah.
I grew up with people whose grandparents remembered the Capone gang active in Cicero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I can't say that this is true. I can tell you what was told to me.
Uh-huh.
But there were a lot of older people, and I'm talking people in their 70s and their 80s, who would just look back and they would say, if you needed help, you went to see Al. If you were late on the rent payment, or if you needed to make you needed shoes for your kids, go see Al. Al would take care of you. These people held Al Capone with a level of reverence that was creepy compared to what the history books and the news reports say he did. But they said this. They said, somebody might come to you later and say, go down to the bar at 25th Place in Central and pick up a bag and take the bag over to Cicero Avenue and 26th Street. Don't open the bag. Do not ask what's in the bag. And suddenly you are a numbers runner for the Capone gang with all of their illegal betting with the 2 racetracks that were in the town. You know? So, you know, there was always a payback, right?
I mean, mafia law. Mafia's code.
You know,
I'll help you, but you scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours.
Right,
that sort of thing.
Right,
Yep.
and so there was a loyalty that was purchased.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so again, I'm not claiming these stories were true. I'm saying that this is what I was told. Now,
I mean, everything has an element of truth.
Yeah,
every story has an element of truth to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So having grown up with that, having lived in that area for a while, and then I saw this, and it's very much a caricature.
Yes.
I was more intrigued by his early comment about the size of my army.
Mm-hmm.
You know, will surprise you. And then you get all of these little miniatures coming out and watching a cannonball growing to full size and the horses and the riders. And it's like, okay, he ate the cavalry fruit. He, you know, I mean, is he a cyborg? Is he, I was actually more intrigued by that than I was anything else. But I don't know if I don't feel that way about any of the other characters, probably because I didn't have the close association with them. I recognize the names, but
Jewelry Bonnie was a pirate.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering if that was a Bonnie and Clyde reference.
I think it's also supposed to be a Bonnie and Clyde reference, but like, I believe there was a pirate captain called
Jewelry Bonnie.
It might have been. That name might be a combo of a couple things. And then Eustace Kidd.
Yeah.
Captain Kidd.
Different spelling, but you know. So Jewelry Bonnie, I really love the fact that we're going to see her again. Or I can't imagine Oda doesn't follow through on the promise, because she calls Zoro an idiot, and then she says the captain, the leader, is a bigger idiot, and if I run into him in the new world, I'm going to kick his backside. So I would love to see that fight. I'd love to see what she brings to the table, because she looks like. She looks like she works the front room of the best little whorehouse in Texas. And so it's the posture.
I know. That's so unfortunate.
You know?
Oh, no.
So, I mean, I'm wondering.
No, that's just that's an unfortunate comment. Oh, man.
Do we have to edit that?
No. It'll be funnier because you don't have the context. So,
okay.
That's an unfortunate comment, and I'm not going to explain any further. You have no way of knowing. You had no way of knowing. So, I'm not gonna spoil it.
We're gonna revisit this one, aren't we?
You might hit a point when Jewelry comes back in the story where you go, oh, out of context. I can see why you made that comment.
Well,
because there's a level of context you need to have this reaction.
Okay.
So,
all right.
One that you will be forgiven for. You have to be, because it's
okay.
You don't have the context.
But
it's just that's so. That is a poor choice of words.
Really?
Unfortunately. And I can't say shit.
I hope everybody knows the reference to the musical.
I didn't pick up on the reference to the musical, but
I believe it was a Dolly Parton movie.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, that's not a crude...
No.
I'm not calling her a prostitute. I'm saying that just... It had like an American cowgirl...
I see that.
...feel to it.
Okay.
And whereas most of the women are slightly demure and they're classy.
She's very rowdy. Yes.
She's and that's what I was referring to. That's all
right.
I was referring to.
Very poor choice, unfortunately. But again, you have no. I'm gonna get off this topic.
I predict another plate of crow coming.
If you need to, it's not a plate of crow. Yeah, if you want me to take
Okay.
that out.
No.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, leave it in. No.
It's also really funny.
Sorry, brought this conversation to a screeching
halt. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know how to continue from that.
Okay, I'll tell you how to continue. Let's go.
Let's go
with this. Okay. I jumped from my 2-page list of cast of characters right into chapter 504.
Okay.
All right, because this was the big chapter where so much came out.
Yes.
All right, we meet Silver's Rayleigh, and he says, "I've wanted to meet you, Monkey D. Luffy."
Yes,
right?
he does.
And you're just like, "Oh my goodness, here we go." That's the cliffhanger panel, right? The very next panel, when you open up 504, is Sengoku saying, "It's that kid again." One after another, what's going on with the family's bloodline? And I'm like, oh, here we go. We're going to get more lore. We're going to get more information. And then Rayleigh reveals his origins. He's the former first mate of the Roger Pirates.
Yes, he is.
That was huge.
So huge.
Right? Brooks then says he recalls a rookie.
I'm so glad you picked this up.
Named Gold Roger.
I'm so glad you picked that up. I am so glad you picked that up.
Oh, wait a minute. Was he a rookie on Brooks' ship?
No.
Okay.
No. Brooke is saying, I seem to recall hearing about a rookie named Gold Roger.
Yes. So now here, was Brooks so removed in his adventure alone that he wasn't able to follow Goldie Roger?
Well, he's just another pirate. Like, you get introduced to
right.
7 other pirates
right.
that we have never heard of. Luffy wouldn't have heard of them.
Okay.
Some of his crew have heard of them from
right.
the newspapers, but Luffy's like, I've never read the newspapers.
Yeah,
I would say it's a similar situation where it's like they probably Brooks' crew. Well, he's saying Brooke is old enough. He's older than
everybody,
than all of them, and he remembers a time when Roger wasn't a name.
Yes,
and it's kind of giving you context how far removed Brooke has been.
Yes, that's what I was
kind of doesn't
trying to
understand. Yeah. Brooke is like one of the only members of the crew that prior to joining probably wouldn't have any idea that you could be a pirate king because that didn't happen until after his time.
Sure.
So it's just a really cool comment.
Yeah, it is, and
it's funny to have a character like Brooke go, "Oh yeah, this legendary figure that everyone talks about. Yeah, I remember when this person was a rookie."
I'm kind of amused, and I just thought of this sitting here. I'm kind of amused by the fact that nobody takes second notice to a talking skeleton walking in the room. They're just like, oh, okay, whatever.
I think Shaggy mentions it, but Shaggy isn't.
Shaggy's a fun character.
Shaggy is a fun character.
So then we get the information. Rayleigh reveals that Roger turned himself in, that he was terminally ill. And, you get this, like, there's a chink in Garp's armor there. Garp didn't capture him. And, that's a huge plot point.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, how is this going to play out? Because that kind of changes the whole Garp persona.
Just a little bit.
And his power.
A little bit.
And so, I mean, we're just gonna see where this goes. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that he turned himself in, that he was terminally ill, right?
Yep.
So now we find out that Crocus was the ship's doctor for their final 3 years.
Yes, he was. Okay. I was so excited.
So that explains
why he was like a Roger.
Exactly. And I realized, I'm like, okay, that explains that part right there. And of course, in the Studio Dog.
Studio Dog the Third. Hey, little one.
She's
in camera.
Pardon?
Camera shy? Shy?
She should be in camera.
She's not in camera. My hand's off
she's
screen.
She's really short, she's Studio Dog.
Really short.
However, she's a sweetheart. So we have that. Rayleigh says, I didn't go to the execution, right?
Yep.
And these were his last words, "I won't die, partner." Right? And so we're left as the reader. We know we believe he didn't survive the execution. Everybody talks about seeing him executed. Yep. "I won't die," is that reference to his spirit? Was it in reference to did he know the tidal wave that he was releasing that's going to change the world and the world government?
So speaking of doctors, I'm gonna flip your mind back to another doctor.
Who?
Chopper's stepdad, adopted father character who I can't remember. Hiraluk. What did Hiraluk say?
I don't remember.
When does a man truly die?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes. There we go.
I think it's a follow-through on that, and I think he knew.
How many years later is he pulling on these strings planted, you know?
Yeah. And there's another line in this same section of story that is in that same vein. We'll talk about it in just a second. But yeah, no, Hiraluk, when does a man die? No, it's when he's forgotten.
Yes.
And Roger made sure that he would never be forgotten.
9 and 10. Well, no, because he's in the history books.
He's in the history books.
Because Rayleigh's in the history books.
And he started the Great Age of Piracy.
Yes.
He sent it. They say it right at the beginning. With these words, he sent thousands to the sea.
Yes.
In search of the One Piece.
Yes.
It's a man who's carved his place in history.
Yes, he
literally.
has.
So
he's content.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a man who died happy.
That's a man who knew exactly what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. So Rayleigh says, "I don't know for sure, but Roger is dead." So we have the confirmation. Roger is very definitely dead. So we don't have to worry about anything like that. Then he recalls Shanks saying, "In the East Blue, there's a kid saying the exact same thing as Captain Roger. The very same words the captain said."
Yep.
And so now we've got this like full circle from the beginning, you know, before we go forward. And I was so excited in this chapter, which is why rather than going chronologically, like I normally do, I just sat and wrote all my notes about 504 here because I had to because it was so cool.
You get the official drop, Shanks and Buggy. And Buggy. Well, because we're on his crew.
Yeah, and they mentioned Buggy.
Yeah,
in here,
they did.
Right? So,
which kind of throws Buggy into a whole different, slightly different perspective now, because you're like, what? Buggy, who Luffy beat all the way back, like 3 chapters after he set sail.
Yeah, but Buggy is Buggy's got devil fruit power, but Buggy isn't strong like all of these other pirates are strong.
No, not in that.
So he's not a threat. It's like he was never going to rise above the station he was at. He might have become a reliable crew member, but he has no business being a captain. He really doesn't. So,
but it is awesome when Shanks is like, "Hey," and then you're like, "Oh, Shanks was,"
and the whole thing
Shanks was on Roger's crew.
Yeah,
it was a cabin boy.
And Rayleigh recognizing the
apprentice
hat
is what they say. Yep.
That was so much fun. The hat, right? And then at the end of that, chapter, the thing, and I thought this was really cool, and we'll talk about this character more later, but Kizaru.
Yeah.
Kizaru arriving on a flying cannonball, standing. Okay, that's just epic. That is.
We call that, the kids call that aura farming.
Aura farming?
Yeah.
That one was really cool. That was a nice touch. So yeah, I mean, you have one admiral shows up riding a bike on the ocean. And how are you going to introduce the next one? And then there's a third
on a flying ball.
And then there's a third we have to meet, and I guess that third one's going to have a grand introduction also. If you were to top the first two, what would you come up with? You can't tell me because you know the answer to it.
Yeah, no, I very much know the answer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So then I went back to chapter 490, the beginning of this whole thing, and this is where I get going just a little bit chronological. And well, a good point for you to pause and go to the bathroom or refill your favorite drink or something, because I've got lots of notes. I've got more notes on this small. Yeah, I mean, I've got more notes on this small section than I have on larger arcs. This is just packed with information.
Oh yeah. Right? This is like Jaya 2.0.
All right. So the thing
because there's lore drops and there's current shit going down outside.
Yes.
That people need to be aware of.
So here's 2 pictures that you're going to have to put on screen.
Yes.
In the beginning of this arc, there is a lot of pictures of Cammy screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And when Cammy's screaming, her eyes are bugging out and her tongue is sticking out of her mouth and is drawn like it's flapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you that it was laugh out loud artwork.
Yeah.
Okay. So flash a picture of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it brought to mind this.
Mad Magazine?
I grew up on Mad Magazine, all right? And Don Martin, look at the tongue.
Yep.
That's Cammy screaming, and it just made me giggle every time I saw it. And we see her do that 2 or 3 times in this arc. Mm-hmm. And it was a childhood reference for me. If you wonder how I tick, I was damaged by Mad Magazine. That was hysterical.
Pathetic.
We learn Robin's from the West Blue, Frankie's from the South Blue. I don't know that I knew that before. It might have been mentioned. We meet Iron Mask Duval. They've captured Hachi. It's bait to capture Cammy. I really liked in 494 Brooks and Sanji sword fighting side by side. That was fun.
Brooks is a great addition to the crew.
It's nice seeing someone else with a sword who's competent.
Yes.
Not the same level, clearly. But
yeah, not the same. Well, he does stuff differently. Like, he also puts people to sleep with music.
Yes.
It's great.
Which is really cool.
That's just great. I love that.
Is it the same song, or is it?
I have no idea. It's not Bing Sake. I don't think he uses Bing Sake.
No, I didn't mean that. Does he use the same song every time he puts someone to sleep?
Probably.
Yeah. Does he animate? Did they pick one?
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay, that'll be fun.
I do not remember.
When we redo this through the anime, there's so many things I'm looking to see come to life, and that's one of them. So we talked about the spinning maid and the Sunny moving backwards. I thought that was cool. I absolutely
Sunny just has so much.
I know, so much potential. Cammy saves Sanji. This was great.
Yes.
He gets caught in the net. He goes underwater. We find out that the mermaids can swim faster than anything. She goes down and she gets him, and she brings him up. He's got this massive nosebleed. And Usopp...
You know the gag of nosebleed?
No.
I believe it's more of a Japanese joke, but like when you see someone attractive, your nose starts bleeding. Is like a common trope. It's a very easy way to signal that someone is like lusting after that person.
Nosebleed.
So it's a very
okay.
Yeah, it's a very the Japanese will do that in a lot of different mediums where you'll get a nosebleed from seeing something that you find like really stimulating.
Yeah. Well, they gave him heart eyes.
They also did that, yeah. So I think that helps the Western audience understand.
What she's talking about, all this blood, and Usopp says, if he's going to die like that, let him die. He looks happy. I thought that was a funny line.
That was Usopp's just like, oh, never mind. It's just because he's a perv.
I loved the Luffy wows Motoboro into unconsciousness. He stands up in front of this charging bison, and he says, "You're not worth fighting."
Yeah.
Right? And just stands there, and the thing walks away and falls over unconscious.
Yeah.
The joke in 495, 496, Sanji kicking Duval pretty.
Yep.
All right. That's kind of the second time he's done that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
this one's stuck.
This one's stuck. It's a hysterical concept. I changed his bone structure. Now he can't complain. That's a great line.
Well, it's also just a really fun bait and switch where, like, you assume off the bat that Duval is out for Luffy.
Yes.
And he, who is this guy? So maybe you start thinking back to, like, all right, who did he piss off? Who's he after, or who's after Luffy? Who did he beat already? And, it could be someone like Don Krieg, or it could be a whole host of different people. And then he says, Sanji! But he's got the mask on. And I immediately thought of the Navy officer that he beat up at Baratier when we first meet him. when I was first watching this.
Okay.
And I'll be real, I thought this was a filler arc when I first watched the anime. I thought Duval was just a filler thing before we got to Sabaody. I did not, until I read the manga through the first time, realize that this was a actual part of the story. That was just really cool. You know, my first time reading the manga, and yeah, I thought it was going to be that Navy officer.
Gotcha.
Nope, it's a random dude we've never heard of before.
Okay,
and it was hilarious.
The reveal of the wanted Foster Pace,
yes,
was just hysterical.
Just
that
hysterical.
Was great. We learn in, I believe it's the same chapter, or it's right after that, the mid 490s. Marijoa sits on top of the red line. Fishman Island sits underneath it. So we got that. Arlong left that area and settled in East Blue to launch his empire, overthrow the government plan. Right? We go all the way back to Arlong talking about everything that he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he just go straight up? The battle was right there. He goes way out there. So they can go all the way back. Okay, we're going to find out. How strong would Arlong be versus the Celestial Dragons? How strong would Arlong be versus the Warlords? How long would he be as strong would he be versus the Admiral?
Well, considering that he was once a part of a warlord's crew.
What crew?
So there's a name that is dropped in the Arlong Park, and it says that he is the underling of one of the 7. He was once on the crew of one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
Okay.
And they dropped the name.
And I have long since forgotten it.
Very scared to mention it. They dropped the name Jimbei.
Jimbei. Okay.
Yep. You don't see this character, you just see the name. They mention this all, and it's a while ago, so I don't expect you to remember it. It's one of those like real quick hidden one-off lines.
I thought Jimbei was the name of the 10th Straw Hat. Oh!
So, since you're on that line of questioning, and I know I spoiled that for you in the first one, and just a reminder to everyone, I never thought we would be at this point. Ever.
Yeah.
When we made that first one, so I did not care as much about spoiling shit for him.
Yeah, don't complain about
that's why I was kind of scared to bring it up now. I'm like, okay, but to answer your question, if Arlong was a subordinate of a 7 warlord, one of the 7 warlords, if he was a subordinate,
right,
meaning that he wouldn't be stronger then,
right. Okay.
That answers your question.
So
I was afraid to mention the name.
No, don't worry about that, because 1, I know this character's coming. 2, I know who the character is.
Yes.
I didn't forget everything from that first episode.
It will not ruin the story that character goes through.
Okay.
Which you will love.
Okay.
But, yeah. Sorry!
So my next thing that I put underneath those 3 questions, it's simply this. Having seen what we see through Sabaody up to this point, I'm far more sympathetic to Arlong than I ever was to Gecko. Now, I do believe I am on record as saying Arlong makes a point that's valid.
He did, and it's the first inkling of this topic in One Piece.
Right.
It's the first time you get a hint that there's a darker layer to the whole One Piece world, which kind of comes out in full force in this section of story.
It does come out in full force.
This world gets ugly.
Now,
which is
unfortunately
discussed.
He does to Nami the very thing he's trying to fight, and there's his tragic flaw. There's his character tragic.
That's what turns someone into a villain.
Exactly.
Now, that's what makes people into a villain.
So, with all of the characters that return, are we going to get a return of Arlong with a slightly changed perspective on that? The strength, the goals, but maybe not the cruelty. It would be interesting to see. But, so many characters get better treatment through the chapter art, or I know that there's characters that are going to come back later in the story. It would be a character worth revisiting. It'd be interesting to revisit. Mm-hmm. He can't stand up to Luffy's level 2 or level 3.
No.
So he's not a threat.
No.
The question is, can he be an ally? So we'll just throw that one out there. That's where my thoughts are going on that character.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I am going to get so much shit in the comments.
What?
For Jinbei.
For the Jinbei.
For mentioning Jinbei.
I was going in that direction. I'd rather you tell me than, Mm-hmm. And actually, you didn't tell me. You hinted. I figured it out. Hachi represents the best of the fishmen.
Yes.
He represents the potential of the entire Fishman universe. And he's the mirror of Arlong. You can't not. And he's a former member of his crew. You can't
he redeemed himself.
He redeemed himself.
Yeah.
And so you can't not, be considering what they did before and who they fought before in light of everything that's taking place.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a fun treatment of that.
I like his little thing back with Nami, and Nami does say, "I can't forgive you, but I'm also not. I can't stay mad at you, but I basically along those lines."
Yeah.
But she's also fighting for Cammy, and she's let it go generally.
She's let it go because it's not the primary fight.
Yeah.
But
you can't. I don't think it's reasonable to expect Nami to ever completely forgive Arlong or his crew. I think she can acknowledge that Hachin has changed.
Right.
That he regrets his decisions and is not going to trouble him for it. But I don't think because I think she says at one point, "I don't forgive you."
Right.
But I'm also not I don't remember what the exact line is. She says, "I'm not going to forgive you, but I'm also not going to XYZ." But also your takoyaki is delicious, so.
Yeah. With the direction that the story is going.
Which is very interesting.
I don't see them being reunited with that character. But then with the way every story arc goes, you get a wrap up of every story arc before they move on. So, do they get back? Do they see Cammy again? Do they see Hachin again? Do they return to the archipelago? It remains to be seen. I thought that since, it's a natural bubble machine, Khalifa would have been right at home.
Right.
Hey! You like that?
Yeah, that's a good callback.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, more bubbles. The chapter. Oh my goodness, the chapter art, the CP9 chapter art through this entire thing, this whole, I've got to earn money to pay medical bills. And the Kafu giraffe slide had me laughing out loud. And then Khalifa cleaning the town, bubbles all over the place. It just was funny. It truly was a lighthearted, light treatment of CP9, but it just makes me wonder, what the heck? Your mom made the observation. We were talking about this, and she said you'd think that if they worked for the world government would have healed their people.
Yeah.
Right? And so what happened there?
Well, we're also seeing that they're undercover agents. They do work undercover.
True.
So they're kind of like Black Ops, where
you're
on your own. Like we're not officially backing you, so we're not officially helping you. That could be it. Also, as we see, the world government, the people at the top are not good people.
No, they're not.
No. And I'm going to make a very clear distinction here. The Marines and the world government, in technicality, are two separate organizations. One works for the other.
Okay.
One is underneath the other, but they are considered two separate organizations. There is the world government, and then there are the Marines underneath the world government. Because CP9 was not Marines.
They were world government.
They were world government as well. So I'm going to make that clear distinction real quick.
Okay.
Just to make I'm not excusing the Marines or anything, but I am making that distinction because it is something to keep in mind.
Hi. How are you?
How are you doing?
How you doing? I'd try to pick you up and show you to everybody, but you'd probably piddle on the carpet.
Yeah, probably.
You can be a bit of a coward that way. It's nice to see you. So the bubble bikes was really cool. It was just creative. It was just creative.
I love that. And he goes through the process of explaining how they work to justify why they don't get one.
Yes, yeah. It
almost feels like Luffy is like he's thinking, oh, Luffy's gonna want to buy the bike, so now I have to explain to Luffy why he can't have a bike.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I think he said basically along the lines of he lets the characters write the story.
Okay.
Which I think would explain that thought process because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny.
Well, it's like the Wave Rider.
Yeah.
You know, it's a variation of the Wave Rider.
Yeah.
You know, basically. But it's a creative, fun idea. I mean, it's just, it really shows
he's not running out of ideas anytime soon.
It was nice seeing the crew having fun.
Yes.
They, when they get to this island. And this is a section of the story where Robin is always thinking. She doesn't change her character much. Every other page, there's a panel where she's making an observation.
What was that noise? It looked like she was yawning.
Might have been. Get that out of your system?
You good?
She snorts.
Yeah, she does.
She makes lots of strange noises.
Makes a lot of weird noises. Yeah, Robin's always thinking.
And you get a close-up.
I bet she was wearing her hat again.
Showing her, she is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her observations. And then it was right in that whole sequence where you get the little panel. And I didn't catch this the first time through. I was going back through reading it. Mm-hmm. You see she scoops up some of the resin and it's sticky and she reaches back and wipes it on Usopp's face. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I just really enjoyed, all the lightheartedness that took place there.
I mean, the crew is they're all comfortable with each other now. Like, Robin's proven herself, and at this point, they're just like, well, if Luffy's laying him on the crew, gotta trust him at this point.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, we have a talking skeleton. What are you gonna do about it?
So it was the end of chapter 496. Luffy watches Devil Dias of the Akumite pirates get killed. It's the exploding neck ring.
Yes.
Right? I'm assuming he gets killed.
He's just a one-off, yes.
And then he's shot by the Celestial Dragons.
Yep.
Okay, so it's pretty much he's down. Now we're going to make sure he's down. One of the rare true deaths in the story that we witness. And we get told at the beginning of 497 about via Starfish gives us the exposition.
I love Pagu.
Pagugagu, the Starfish.
Pagagu,
yeah, whatever his name
Starfish.
is. Yes.
I love that guy.
800 years earlier, 20 kings got together, created the world government, and the Celestial Dragons are descendants of those 20 kings.
Yes.
So there's important information. World building. The world building is impressive. And I'm not a fan of the phrase world building.
But it's important.
And
you gotta understand, like, there's history, and the history has consequences on the story.
Well, I think that this is the first story where the world building really is important.
That you've
to
read?
Me, that I've read. Yeah, where it really is. And all these stories that I have read where there's significant world building, are stories I really haven't enjoyed.
This is, Oda did the right thing where he made the past relevant right at the begining of the story. The story starts with Gold Roger's execution and emphasizes how Gold D. Roger's execution, and emphasizes how impactful his final words were.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of sets the stage that history is important.
Yes, it is.
That the history of this world is relevant. It's not just like setting. It's not just setting the stage. It has an impact on them. And that's why he emphasizes old heads. That's why Rayleigh is important. That's why Garp is important. That's why, because they're people who lived through the previous.
Right.
They hold information that our people need.
Well, here's the interesting...
Which turns into a great conversation
between Robin and Rayleigh and Luffy
and Usopp.
That is an incredible point there.
Oh, it's
do we want to just jump to it?
Do you want to?
We might as well, because
we'll jump back to the Celestial, to the World Nobles killing slaves, because that is important.
It is. I'll just put that right there. But it's chapter 507. Okay. Chapter 507 was the chapter that I said we could probably do 45 minutes on 507, just as a standalone video. Robin asks Rayleigh, Sky Island Poneglyph had Roger's name written on it. How did he know that language? And then she asks, do you know the history of the 100-year blank?
The 800-year, the Void Century.
The Void Century.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Rayleigh says yes.
800 years ago, the Void Century.
Yes.
Yeah. That one.
He says, yes, we know. We learned everything that occurred. That's huge. But then he goes on.
Yes.
He says,
huge.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
He says, take it one step at a time as you travel.
Yes.
And then he says, those at O'Hara were too hasty. Now, when I read that line, I thought, does he know who he's talking to?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's confirmed.
No, yeah, it's confirmed, yeah.
A couple panels later.
Yes.
Because then he offers to explain. Then he's like, no, with everything he just said, he says, but I'll tell you if you really want to know. And then she declines to know.
Now, that's her dream, is to uncover that.
But is it necessarily your dream to... Is it the dream to be the person who discovers it? Or is it the dream to discover it yourself? Or is it the dream to just know?
I think... Well, it depends on... how you want to interpret it. I would have to go back and reread Robin's specific thing. I think she wants to uncover it. As in, she wants to uncover it. I think she also wants to make it publicly available.
I know she definitely wants to do that.
I think it's all three. She wants to know it, she wants to uncover it, and she wants to make it publicly known.
So now,
But now she knows it's attainable.
Yes, she does.
It's actually a very important thing, is that she knows for a fact, one, God, she knows that the scholars didn't die in vain, that they were not on a goose chase. Now she knows that their sacrifice means something. Also, that her mom and apparently her dad were also pursuing something that has meaning. So she knows it's attainable, and B, she knows that the important, people she lost didn't die in vain. Which is, honestly, kind of a subtly huge moment. Now that I'm thinking about it. Imagine getting that closure. Imagine getting that closure that, okay, it's worth it. It exists. I can do this. And then going, you know what? You're right. I'm going to find it out for myself.
In this chapter, at this point of the story, that closure isn't explored. The emotional impact of that is not explored.
No.
It really is kind of glossed over.
But she does have a moment of as she as she's looking. I think if I remember, let's go find the artwork, because I think there's a point where she hears what he's saying, and then she calms herself, and then she smiles and accepts it. It's probably in the other book.
No.
Is it? No, it's not. Oh wait, it's after the auction house. That's right. It's after they all show off and have their...
Because the battle starts, and then a whole bunch of people escape to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on a second. This is exciting filmmaking for everybody. It's in this. It's in this chapter right
there. It
here.
is.
Here we go. We learned everything that occurred.
Shocked faces on Robin.
You get the shocked face on Robin. Don't
Seems
get
that
ahead of yourself.
we and those at O'Hara were too hasty. He's including himself in that.
I missed the we.
I was wondering if that was a translation thing or if he says we and those at O'Hara. He includes himself and Roger in that statement. Imagine hearing that.
I paraphrased it. That's why I missed it. I missed it. We and those
at O'Hara were too hasty.
Wow. That's big.
That is big.
That's big.
Yep. I was wondering if that was a translation difference.
Oh, you're right. Look at those two panels.
She has this moment of... Okay. And I think it's subtle, but I think she just accepts what he's saying and realizes, you know what? I should do this myself.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. Nice catch.
Oh, nice catch. Third time through.
Nice catch.
Helps. But yes. No,
still nice catch.
But no, I think it's important that he says, we were also too hasty. We and those at O'Hara. And I think, especially speaking to the one survivor of O'Hara,
yeah,
I think that's even more important. That he says, we were too hasty. Like, the Pirate King who discovered this also was too hasty in this. He's not criticizing the scholars.
No, he's not at all.
He's almost like he's implying we're too early.
We both... Yeah, which really... What the hell is this information?
Or we missed it. Or we missed something. Or we did this too fast.
With everybody who's current on the story... Is this been answered already? Or is it the answer still to come?
There's some theories that are...
I know there's theories.
No, there's the history, like, we're slowly starting to unravel.
Okay.
Gotcha. Oda is simultaneously dropping lore bomb after lore bomb after lore bomb, and basically there's like 2 mysteries left. What's the One Piece? What happened in the Void Century?
Gotcha.
Which that ties into a couple other mysteries that are still ongoing.
Gotcha.
So it's like a lot of it is pertaining to that.
So he acknowledges O'Hara as her hometown.
Yes.
All right, and just a couple panels later, does he know who she is? Her skill set? She's an archaeologist. She can read the poneglyphs.
Well, if he read like the newspapers, he would probably know.
He doesn't show that he appreciates the weight that she's been carrying, or that she does carry. That's all. That's my only question. I mean,
he might know of her, but like, there's nothing there that indicates that he was attached, that he knew anyone from O'Hara. So here's also a dude who's kind of seen everything.
To a certain extent, he's seen a lot.
He's seen a lot, so he's probably just like, I know how the world works, and I've accepted my place in it.
What is he? He's probably going to have referred to as Dark Knight Silver.
The Dark King.
King Silver.
Israeli.
I can't wait to find out the backstory of that.
Dark King Silver Israeli. That's a dope title too. That is a really cool title.
You know,
man, all the old men have really cool titles. Garp is what, Hero of the Navy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you got the Pirate King, and you've got his subordinate is Dark King Silver Israeli. I mean, that's just a dope title.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding that one out. So he says. And this was weird. Roger didn't decipher the writings. He says that. He says he was able to hear the voices of all things on the world. That's all.
Yeah, we got another thing. We got something new.
What the heck is that one?
Voice of all things. We got something new.
We do.
We have something new.
The Roger pirates couldn't match the O'Hara intellect. He says that.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't as smart as O'Hara.
Yep.
But Roger could hear voices? I mean, but there's just... That's a heck of a line to drop.
It is very...
All right.
This chapter...
Okay. So now my note in here...
Something new.
Chapter 507. The last 2 pages of this chapter read the book. Okay? And so we get... we get the observation, we get Usopp asking, is the greatest single treasure One Piece really at the last island?
Is what he was,
He was going to say there.
He's trying to say.
And we get to scream Usopp, which is
Luffy.
And Luffy says, I don't want to hear where the treasure is. I don't want to know if the treasure exists or not. I don't know for sure now. But everyone out there is risking their lives for it. If Rayleigh tells us anything about it now, I'll quit being a pirate. I'll never go on an adventure that isn't any fun. So now,
this is a huge and important statement.
Yes, it is. And when you book, my finger's on.
Okay, I'll hold it for you so you can talk.
Well, no, all I was going to say was when you go down the path of how do you define a pirate and how do you define Luffy's purpose, right? You see how kind he is. You see how generous he is, how he treats everybody. I mean, we're on this whole thing because he's saving Cammy from,
And because there was Takoyaki promised to him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on.
I know.
He's not that shallow. He can be.
He's a little bit that shallow, but yes.
But here you have this clear statement of who he is. The adventure is what's important to him, right? It's not the destination; it's the journey. It's a well-known theme, but this is one.
And he's saying it importantly, not to Rayleigh, but luckily in front of Rayleigh.
Yeah, he's putting a statement to his crew. He's putting a statement to the world.
Yes.
He's giving a statement to the readers, you know. So Usopp starts apologizing, starts backpedaling, and then we get the question from Rayleigh, do you think you can do it? The new world far surpasses even your wildest imagination. The enemies there will be strong too. Do you think you can conquer such powerful oceans? And then you get this panel of him thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, I'm not going to conquer anything. The one who is the most free is the Pirate King. Like, wow! That one hit. Both times I read it, that one hit right here. Pirating and piracy is freedom. As the freedom to go do what you want to do, be who you want to be, go on the adventures you want to go on. That's why stealing treasure is so important to Nami, but so not important to Luffy. It's not even an afterthought.
Yeah.
So clearly, the freedom,
yes,
and adventure is his definition of piracy. And the Pirate King, the king of the pirates, is not the one who holds the One Piece. It's the one who is the most free. I think getting the One Piece is secondary too.
You're good. Oh, shit. Wow. Fuck. Say that again.
Obtaining the One Piece is Luffy's secondary goal. It's
wow.
It's right here. It's his second. I have been pulling on the string of what does it mean to be a pirate since I started reading this. So we're 500 chapters in, and we get this definitive statement from Luffy. Is he going to pursue the One Piece? Oh, hell yes, he is.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes.
But it's not his goal. Luffy without this drive is not Luffy. Yeah. This is it. This is who he is. His Pirate King, he's going to be the most free. And right now he's got the world government breathing down his neck. And he quite literally gets swatted by the
Yep.
You know?
And then look at the very next panel. Is Rayleigh, eyes hidden, but you see his mouth smiling. And what did he say earlier when he was talking about Shanks? Rayleigh, you will never believe it. This kid said the exact same thing. We don't know what it is. Spoiler alert. We don't know what Luffy said to Shanks. It could be something we have seen him. Shanks doesn't tell Rayleigh what it is. So we have no idea what Luffy has said that makes it exactly like Roger. That is exactly what Roger said. There are theories.
But with this knowledge that Roger gave himself up, with the knowledge of everything we've got now up to this point about Goldie, Roger,
there's so much here.
You know,
there's so much character exploration. There's so much lore. There's so much world building.
Look at my last
Your
note
next
on this
page, the grin on Rayleigh's face on the top of the next page. Yes, Rayleigh sees it. He is just the most recent in a long line of people that have been commenting on Luffy's similarities to Gold Roger.
Yes.
Who better to put the nail in the coffin that this kid than his literal first mate?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So, I mean...
Like, at that point, if that's not, like, the most unsubtle foreshadowing...
Well, so, the interesting thing is, if I have correctly diagnosed, this aspect of Luffy's character and where this whole story is going, it does nothing to dampen the enjoyment or going forward in the story because, first of all, this man is so wildly creative.
Yes.
That I could not even begin to predict how the story is going to go. I can't predict changes. I can't predict. I don't even want to try. I want to go for the ride. Yeah.
Honestly, your best predictions are when you're just like spewing something like what you just did because...
Oh, this is where I start making my connections.
I don't even want to say more about it other than you made the right observation.
Okay, well, we'll just
leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. You don't know how bad I want to right now. How much I want to dive into your observation.
Okay.
I can't.
Because it's all post 507.
Yes.
How many people right there are screaming at the camera right now?
I don't know. There's a couple things that I've done. I've broken that.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the.
You called. Your observation is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a statement. How do you miss that? It's a huge panel.
I think a lot of people...
You think a lot of people miss it?
I did. I think a lot of... Based on something that happens later that all but confirms that your observation is correct.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what it is, but...
Look at the bottom of that page right here. The panel's huge. The smile is huge. It's infectious. When Luffy has this grin, it's just
Luffy's
infectious.
Grin is just great.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll be real. I think this is where Oda's artwork peaks. I think this stretch of story before he got, because modern One Piece it's not as cleaned up, and I'm reading the stuff that comes out weekly, so it's not as cleaned up. So I'll wait to see what it looks like when we read the cleaned up versions. So what happens is, a little side tangent. One Piece is released in a magazine each week, and that's essentially the first draft.
Oh, okay.
So it's like semi-finished.
All right.
But what happens is it gets released in the magazine, and then it gets released in the volumes.
Okay.
Which then get turned into these like omnibuses.
Okay.
It gets released in the volume, but at the time they release it for the volume, they have the time to go back and make corrections to the artwork.
Gotcha.
If he accidentally drew too many fingers on a hand or something, or a sword on the wrong side, they get the chance to go back and fix that.
Right.
So this is the finished artworch of
Gotcha.
that. And when I read weekly. I am reading Official Release, which is the weekly release, which still might have some unfinished artwork, but I'm also reading like scans that come out early, so I read it both. I read Official and I read, for those wondering, I read Official and then I read the original, just because I want the Official to get supported because I want Oda to get paid for his work.
Yes.
So I do that, and then. So I don't know I haven't read the like volume releases of his modern stuff, but as he gets older, you can tell his artwork is getting it's a little messier.
Oh, okay.
So but I
Well,
love
age,
this,
you know.
yeah, age, and that's not a shot.
No,
The artwork is still great. He still puts out some magnificent artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say his rough sketches, because it's gone through, like some of it hasn't even been like ready for a first draft. Some of his like sketched out.
Right.
There was a volume that released that was sketched out. Honestly, I think it made the flashback that was occurring at that point better.
Really?
Gorgeous.
Wow.
It was like rough lines and pencil lines. It was gorgeous. I would read a book. I would read this whole thing just in his rough draft.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see.
But no, my point being, the artwork is fantastic, and I love when Luffy has this face.
Yes.
Because it's so much. It's the balance between the goofiness and the lightheartedness and the friendly, like almost like cutesy One Piece that we know, but like we're stepping up in the story. The story is leveling up.
It is.
We're dealing with more serious stuff.
Yes, it is.
We're dealing with more powerful characters. So the artwork maturing a little bit, I would say, past the. I keep comparing early One Piece to Calvin and Hobbes, but I mean that's not a dig, because Will Watterson was a magnificent artist in his own right. He drew some beautiful stuff for Calvin and Hobbes.
I've always been.
There's a comparison I would make there.
There's a fascination. I'm fascinated by that picture. The innocent Luffy, and then Luffy here a short time later, laying out among the rubble. Mm-hmm. And he's the adult male. I just got pounded in a fight.
Yes.
Because when he gears up for a fight, he's not that cutesy little.
No, he's not.
But
no, you are observing the right stuff.
The silliness then of the very next chapter, where his opening comment is, "I hope we don't die."
Yeah. Yeah.
You're cute. Frankie makes the observation, Rayleigh is larger than life. He's the most famous member of the crew of the Oro Jackson. I had to go back and double check that was Roger's boat.
It is Roger's ship.
And then he
says,
the
most famous current living one.
Yeah.
Obviously, Roger would be more famous.
Well, I wondered about that. But he follows it up. He says, Tom died for them defending his honor. Tom died defending his honor for them. We know the backstory.
We know Tom built
that,
their ship, yes.
I
know, I love that moment where Frankie reflects on it.
Yeah.
That's a great moment. He took so many small moments to let the characters reflect on what they learned, and that's a good moment for Frankie. That's just a nice little moment, because
it's not only a good moment for Frankie, but he's taking the time in the story to invest in these little moments when a lesser writer would have skipped over that character development for action.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it only took him, what, like 2 panels?
1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2 panels.
Yep.
It doesn't take that much.
No.
Yeah, he gives Frankie just a side conversation with himself. And smiling. And it's kind of like a bookend acceptance for Frankie. He's like, you know what? I've met one of them.
Well,
I can see why. I understand. He understands Tom a little better now.
It's interesting that Rayleigh does this for the 2 oldest members of the Straw Hat crew. That he does it for the 2 people with these significant backstories.
Yes.
Who lost.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
And so
2 of the more recent.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Well, you've got this thing. You've got this Frankie Robin relationship that's different from everybody else, and I don't want to say that I'm rooting for them to be a couple or anything, but I'm very interested in seeing how they develop together as members of the crew.
Yes.
Yes.
Oda has already said there will not be a romance between any Straw Hat members.
Yeah,
I think that's a very smart decision.
No, I wanted to just clarify my thoughts.
Yeah, their friendship is fantastic. You know who's also a really fun duo, and you haven't seen much of them yet, but you will see more of it?
Who?
Frankie Brook.
Frankie Brook?
They have a romance that is just fun. It is so much fun. Those 2 interact. There's some scenes later on. There's this very specific scene I'm thinking of, and it's way later. Wano, you know. It's in Wano.
If you know, you know.
It's Wano when everyone's running around them and they're just sitting there cross-armed. There's just a moment where they're just sitting there and there's like big threats coming and they're just chilling. They're like, huh, okay, let's go do this. Let's go. Like, those two are not afraid to throw hands. Like, they're not Zoro and Sanji level, but like, those two throw hands.
You know,
they're like, they are just great.
Yeah, Frankie doesn't hesitate to throw hands.
Frankie doesn't care if he's outclassed. Frankie is going to throw down. And Brooke is right there with him, and it just makes for a great pair.
These relationships make me wonder even more, and I'm actually kind of impatient for this answer. I don't want you to hint one way or the other, but I really want to find out if any of the crew members arrive at the same location together. Is it 9 separate locations, or are there any team-ups? And if there are team-ups, which 2 characters? You know? Because you've got such distinct personality differences. Kizaru is 1 gold chain away from a disco dance movie or a mafia hitman. I can't tell which one.
I told you when Aokiji was introduced, they're all based on Japanese 70s actors.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, you're right. Yo, you're 100% right. He straight up looks like a gangster.
He does.
His design is really cool.
It is.
I like his design.
It is.
I like Kizaru.
Okay.
Kizaru as a character is also great.
So he's battling Hawkins. And he's very, very casually analyzing Hawkins while he's fighting him. And he's not panicking. He's not worried. He's not anything. He's like, oh wow. And then, bam, slaps him down.
Yep.
The level of... The Straw Hats are so outclassed in this battle. Which is why I made that earlier observation. Do they have what it takes to make it in a new world? It's a level of being outclassed that's absolutely stunning. We get Sentomaru, immense strength, armament hockey, he is the Vegapunk bodyguard.
Yep.
He controls...
Also gets brought up a couple times.
Right, it does. The Pacifista robots, plural, so... Right. So when the first Kuma shows up, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking... Something's wrong here. This is not Kuma. Something's wrong. And then you get the second one. And I'm like, something's wrong. And when Kuma finally shows up, I'm like, Bible. He's the one.
Yep.
This is the guy.
Everyone got that same feeling.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So now, he makes a comment at the end of chapter 508, I better hurry or they'll finish them all off. And I'm like, there's too many indefinite pronouns here. There's right, who is he talking about? Who's going to finish off whom? You know, it was a little bit frustrating. I actually stopped and I asked the question, I researched, are there pronouns in the Japanese language? And there are, but it's freaking complicated.
Oh, yeah.
It's complex.
Oh, yeah.
It's really complex. And so I was like, well, that might explain why this got translated the way it did, because it was a little hard to follow. So we get the army of Kumas with a variety of different powers, and apparently Vegapunk was able to take the light beam power from... Kizaru and put it into one of the robots, and so that means you have this endless supply of potential really damaging robots. Now, the mouth opening up with the cannon and Robin's hands pounding the mouth shut till it explodes on the inside was hysterical. It was creative. It was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
You know, and to see her power used that way.
Yep.
I put a note in here, and it's yellow 7. So I actually had to come up with a code for my tabs. Somebody once mentioned I couldn't just like numerically do these. There's some artwork here that I'm finding confusing, and I wanted you to possibly explain it to me. This one right here. So apparently Drake ate the Dino fruit or the T-Rex fruit.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. This claw, what is he grabbing right there?
Let's see.
I'm sure Noah will show this picture to you. Here. What is he grabbing?
He's grabbing his arm. He's grabbing the arm.
Oh, okay.
There's the fist. Yep. It's behind.
Gotcha. Okay, I could. Yeah. Oh, so that's this right here.
Yeah, that's that.
Gotcha. That one had me right. Yeah.
I got you.
So then
that took me a second to decipher too, but I saw the fist. Yeah, he's grabbing the arm. I think if that sound effect word part wasn't there above the hand, it would be a whole lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you could just see the grab.
Yeah.
Maybe the catch wasn't necessary. So then I wondered if Drake's going to be destroyed, is it from someone who ate the asteroid fruit? And
that's funny on so many levels.
Okay.
That's funny on so many levels. And one that you don't understand yet. It's going to be great.
Okay.
So,
it's just a one-liner. I thought the setup was gonna get blown here for a moment. I almost panicked.
That's funny.
So we've got
purple.
Here's another.
They know what I'm talking about.
Here's another T-shirt idea.
Okay.
Check it out. I just need a shirt with that written on it. Check it out.
That's funny.
Apu is hysterical. That was just
Scratch Man Apu.
So creative. So wildly creative.
Yep.
But you see him take down Kizaru temporarily.
Yeah, cuts him in half.
Okay. Cuts him apart, cuts him in half. You see this admiral fall to the ground. And then, so here's where I started. I could not for the life of me figure out what this guy's powers were. Kizaru.
Light.
Well, I figured that out eventually, right? Yeah. But the artwork makes it look like he had the wax fruit power. Like number 3.
Yeah, he's like
glop of because you see him when he gets taken down.
Yeah, I could see what you mean by that. When he gets split in half, it should be in the next page.
It's next. Yeah, so...
Yeah, where all the beams... It's supposed to be beams of light, yeah.
Yeah, it looked... So, then I seem to remember there's no two devil fruit powers are the same.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so this can't be the wax fruit. So what is this guy? So it really puzzled me until we finally figure out that he's light.
Yeah.
And the throwing the mirror beam is pretty cool.
He opens up with, like, have you ever been kicked at the speed of light or something like that?
Well, I noticed that.
Yeah.
And it was a hell of a kick. But also, did you notice that that was against Hawkins? He was damaged by it.
Hawkins also is, like, basically a walking voodoo doll.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay, the demon thing. I saw
the straw. The literal straw man coming out.
Right.
And he's like, oh, it's going to take more than this to survive that.
I figured there was
there's something about it. I don't even know if that's a devil fruit power. I think he's just using some weird magic. There is no.
Oh no! There's a reference to it.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I didn't pay that much attention to Hawkins.
I kind of like the
point that he shows up. He's kind of cool, but
okay. Hawkins is really laid back.
Yes.
He uses a tarot card-like ability to protect. He's very concerned about whether or not he's going to die that day.
Yeah.
He puts on the demon face, which I'll be honest with you, that one was scary. That one was just.
Yeah.
I looked at it. There's a New Orleans vibe to him.
Oh,
okay.
I like that.
There's a New Orleans vibe to him. There really is. It reminds me of the Gambit.
I love Gambit.
He reminded me.
I hate him in Marvel Rivals right now. For those who play, but it's okay. Rogue's coming. Yeah, Gambit's great.
I don't know what kind of power you have, but your body is still intact. You don't seem to be a Logia type. Where did I read it?
I'll throw it up on the.
I read it somewhere.
If you read that he's a devil fruit, then I believe it.
Yeah, or maybe I was just cracking a joke in my head because I tend to do that when I see people with all the different powers. Okay. So let's see here. We're getting close to the end here.
Well, we got to go back and cover another topic. But
oh yeah, that's okay.
A couple of them.
The Kizaru kick of Scratchman of Pooh, where they're up in the air and he does this flip in this kick and sends him down through the building. That was just cool. That was the power move of power moves. And it made me ask the question, how is Luffy going to defeat this guy? Completely overpowered, okay?
I'm not going to give you any hints on this one.
No. Then we get to the point where Sanji defends Zoro in a fight. They're in that big fight. And it's almost like, because they're up against the real Kuma, right?
By the end, yeah.
Okay. They're up against him, and Sanji witnessed what Zoro went through. Sanji knows what Zoro went through. And so suddenly, these two guys who are like this all the time, suddenly he's like, leave him alone. It's a clear reference to you don't know what he's been through. And I thought that was a wonderful character development moment for Sanji.
It is a wonderful... I think, you know what also it is? I think Zoro's having a little PTSD from that. Because Zoro's kind of like he's like seeing the Pacifista. He's had the exact same observation you have. There's something off about this, and then the real Kuma shows up. He kind of freaks out a little bit. He's kind of like, oh no, that's the real one.
Yeah,
like we gotta run.
Thing.
And for Zoro to be in the mindset of you all have to get out of here.
Yes.
Like again, he's ready to sacrifice himself for the crew, but he's like, there's no way we're beating this. We can't beat this. Everyone needs to run. Like he's telling everyone else, like including Luffy, to run. And Sanji can see that. There's probably a little Zoro's like,
I wouldn't,
because it was recent too.
That's a fantastic observation. That really is, because the PTSD angle didn't really occur to me, but just I'm on the fringes of that. Of you can tell that this is a big thing. Yeah.
And Sanji Sanji would notice that.
Sanji
brings noticed that
compassion. He shows compassion that you normally don't see from him.
Yes.
And that was huge. Now that's one I would love to see the live action actor do that scene.
Yes, I do too. I want to see both of them do that scene.
Yeah.
I want to see both of them handle that scene.
Yeah.
That would be
really
incredible to watch. I think both of those would do that amazing.
So this was the point in the story. It's chapter 511 where I made the observation the crew's overmatched. How are they going to survive in the world? Rayleigh comes in and saves Zolo. Now, it's really cool blocking
Zolo. That is
Zoro,
the first time in many videos.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, well, no, actually, I actually wrote it Zolo too. Oh my goodness! You know what it was? It was copying the quote out of the. It was copying it out of the book.
No, I believe that.
Forgive me, please. I know how much it aggravates you guys. That was an honest slip.
I think Mariah has taken first place. I don't want a lot for Christmas. I know that joke was put in the comments.
I'm sure.
Pronounced like the Christmas song.
Oh, it kills me. Well, so here's the other thing, though. Put you in my shoes for a little bit.
You're doing it phonetically.
Yeah, okay. I'm doing it phonetically, right? I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to do this without researching, because every time I research,
it's going to be spoiled.
No, something about the future is spoiled because I get, he does this and this and this and this, and before I can turn off the off button, I get a reveal about the future, right?
Yeah.
But
you know what's hard about it for me is that I'll say it correctly.
If 5 of you give me a pronunciation guide, all 5 will be different. There, I've said it.
That is true. That is fair. There's usually at least 3 different pronunciations in the comments. I appreciate all of you.
So, yeah,
we appreciate all of you. It is.
We helpful. Do. Oh, we do. Yeah, I'm teasing with that. Okay, I interrupted you. I apologize.
A little tease. No. I was kind of interrupting you. No, I typically try to pronounce it the way I generally hear it said, which gets hard because sometimes I'm one of those people where if I'm talking to someone with an accent, I'll start slipping into their accent.
Yeah. Yes.
Unintentionally.
Yes.
Australia was rough.
Oh, I believe it.
Australia was rough. It's like, good night.
You have to be careful with that. So Rayleigh saves Zoro.
Yes.
Okay.
I found it fun. It was the first, like, there was a point, I think we were like 4 or 5 episodes in where you started calling him Zoro after, saying Zolo for several things. And I wasn't going to say anything. Because if you were just going to slip into it, I was just going to let it ride. This is like the first time. We're like 20 videos into this series or something like that, and you slipped on that. I was like, "Oh, it's been so long."
So the
it's just funny. That's all.
In printing these volumes, it's still spelled Zero.
It will be for the rest of the time because they refuse to switch it.
I'm translating it.
Yeah.
Every single
Good
time.
Job. Good on you. I would have a hard time.
But I remember about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, looking at the camera and saying, "Fine, I will give in. I will call it Zorro," because it was clearly aggravating a lot of people. And the last thing I want to do is aggravate, people. But how powerful is Rayleigh? That he can block a light sword with a side thrust kick.
Yes. To be fair, I think it wasn't the sword at that time. I think he was about to shoot a beam and he deflected him. I think he pulls out the sword when Rayleigh pulls out his sword. I think, in all technicality, but you're in the right ballpark.
I'm in the right ballpark.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna cover that base.
I won't.
I'm gonna cover it before y'all have a chance to comment it.
Okay. How powerful is he that he can stand up?
That he can stop
Kizaru.
Yeah.
Kizaru, or is it
Kizaru?
Kizaru.
I say Kizaru.
Okay. So great power panel.
Kick to kick. Yeah. Oh yeah. Power panel.
I got a whole thing for power panels.
Yes.
Do we do it today or do we save it?
We do it today. We'll touch on it and then we'll go back and go through all our favorites.
In this battle, this is a point where Kizaru says, "Is it really the right time for you to come out of hiding, Dark King Rayleigh?"
He knows him by reputation.
There we go. Don't pick the buds before they sprout. Their era is only just beginning. What an incredible drop.
Yeah.
It really is. And, for a story arc that started so kind of whimsically, kind of almost formulaically, this arc took a left-hand turn and went galloping in a different direction.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, if you take a look at the arc as a whole, it's like it's almost one
two
story.
Different stories being told.
Exactly, and then this just takes. There's no clear winner of a conflict in this. This is rising action. This is just rising action.
You are really good.
It's got to
so good.
Be part of just a grand,
this is why everyone enjoys watching your. Yep, this is rising action. You are correct. This is right. Sorry, we'll do it for you guys. This is rising action. You're right. Yep. There's the lit teacher coming out. There's the lit coming out.
Well, the interesting thing is, I can't even begin to imagine what the climax of this arc is.
Oh, you have. You have no clue what's coming.
Okay. Okay.
In terms of like, man, this story goes.
So I'm going to ask a favor. I'm going to ask a favor.
Yep.
Here's the favor.
Yep.
Don't tell me.
Cute aggression is coming.
When the end of this arc is.
I'm not going to tell you when the end of this arc.
Well, every once in a while, I'll say
section of story. No. I'm going to tell you. So there's Sabaody.
No, stop before you say anything else.
Okay.
Before you say anything, hear me out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I say, okay, how far do I have to read? What chapter is the end?
Yeah.
I don't want you to tell me that. I don't want you to tell me what the names of the next arcs are.
Okay,
I want to figure this one out.
Okay.
I want to figure this, if you will please give me that. I want to figure this one out.
Okay.
Because I don't want to know that, well, I'm 3 chapters from the end of the arc. This is going to be the climax of the story. I want to go for this ride.
Okay. All right.
Can you?
That's going to be really hard to schedule videos around because you might make it halfway into a different section of story.
I'm sure.
Good job, Uncle Butt.
Thank you. You protected us from the evil sister who walked out the back door.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah. Hey, Goofy, thank you for protecting us. You're such a good girl. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that'll be interesting.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll still be able to do it.
I feel like you'll know when the good stopping. You'll figure out when the good. There are going to be 3 good. There are going to be 3 good stopping points, and I think you'll know when they arrive.
See, if you knew what a coward this dog really is, she is really vicious from about 30 feet away.
Yeah.
It's the truth. All right.
No, you'll have fun with this one. You'll have fun with this. This section of. I'll say this section of story is really fun.
So I wonder if a lot of the end of this is a lot of this. The end of this is just battle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it moved along pretty quickly. And I thought Chopper's transformation to the monster was really wasted, but the only good part that came out of it was Chopper's transformation to the monster doesn't always mean he's going to overwhelm the enemy.
Yeah.
It's not going to defeat.
It kind of keys you in on when Chopper is desperate.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because everyone was kind of desperate in
Yes.
there.
Yes. No, that's a great observation.
Didn't he do that after Zoro got blinked? So it's around that. I think he does afterwards, and everyone is commenting on it, and they're like, "Oh, buddy, why'd you do that?"
They're screaming, "Everybody run! Everybody run!"
And
no, so
I think he sees. He draws a sword after. Yes, he's making a sword right now.
Right. So he can defeat a light sword
with his sword. Yes.
With his sword. That's pretty.
Oh no! Yeah, no. I wasn't downplaying your comment. You were correct.
Yeah.
Right comment, wrong panel.
Everybody's running. Some people are fighting. You get a tremendous amount of back and forth where they're trying to save each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get the answer to your question.
He does it right here. I think he does that after. I think that's after Zoro. I think that's after he blinked Zoro.
Yes, it is after he blinked Zoro. Wait.
Wait, no, is that Zoro? Nope, it's
before.
It's right before
he blinked Zoro.
So he's desperately trying to save the crew.
Yes.
It's
either
your
way. Point still made.
The point is still made.
Yeah.
It's Chopper has only done it twice so far in the story. And both times he's done it out of desperation.
Yes.
And because it's more of the past, because like, what's Chopper's whole thing? He's afraid of becoming a monster, and it's once again Chopper being willing to become the monster to save his crew, to save his friends, and to save the people who would do the same for him. It's just, and Chopper during this section of story has not backed down.
No.
From any fight.
No.
He has stepped up. He stepped up to both Pacifistas. And then he sees that it's the real Kuma, and now he's terrified enough to go monster point because he believes it's the only way he can help. Chopper's a fucking badass!
I know Chopper is one of your favorites.
It's just really nice because he's so often played for the cute mascot character that he is 90% of the time.
Yes.
That when you see, because he's kind of innocent, he's meant to be innocent. He's very innocent. Doesn't Shaggy ask him for money for the cotton candy?
Yes.
And then he's like, "Oh no, I don't have that much." And she's like, "I'm so sorry. I was just messing with you." It's like he's a kid. He's a child.
In many ways, he is.
He is a child, and way out of his depth as a child. So to see him step up the way he has, it's wonderful. To see, it's also heartbreaking to see what is essentially a child going to this length to protect what he views as his family.
He's a child like this. He's a man like this. He's a monster.
Yes, but the transformation doesn't change who he is at his core.
No.
And I think that's it.
But it changes the characteristics of child chopper to man chopper to monster chopper.
Yes.
The very thing that you're describing, I think there's a metaphor there.
I think there is. I can see that. I would say he would. Well, okay. So Monster Point, he kind of like. He turns into like Hulk mode in that one. He loses himself.
Yes.
At Monster Point. So it's not that one. You could say is a character change. I think if anything, it would be closer to a Soga King type thing, where he's in a bigger form. He's a little more confident. He's basically still a kid though. There's moments where he's in his big point.
I think
strong point where he's still like scared, where he's terrified.
Oh,
he's still that little kid at heart. Yeah. He's just but he's stepping up.
He has the courage.
He has the courage
to move forward.
Yes.
So I don't think we're disagreeing here.
I think
it's finding the best way to describe it. And maybe. Now I'm gonna get choked up.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. I know the man you are. But I can still see the child you were inside of you. And I think that's the difference between young Chopper and bigger Chopper. It's the best way to describe it.
Oh, jeez.
That's the best way to describe it.
This one I'm going to be like soon.
No, gosh, the older I get, it's so much harder to control. I don't know why it is so much harder to control.
Oh, jeez.
Not just me. Someone in the family's got to be the softie, and it's not Mama Peaches. So,
although she also
love you, honey.
She also has a soft spot for Chopper.
She does. She's also got a soft spot for her kids, believe it or not.
I believe it somewhere.
She's going to be watching this, shooting me dirty looks across the room. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Okay, so the real Kuma to Zoro, and I actually spelled it Z-O-R-O.
Nice.
He says, if you were to take a trip, where would you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
But what does he mean? And it's note number 10 on here. When he says, so you were alive all thanks to your benevolence.
That's what Zoro says, I think?
No, Kuma says it to him. He says, so you were alive all thanks to your benevolence.
Roronoa. That's Zoro's last name.
Right, I know that.
Are you sure? Yeah. That looks like the tail is arcing towards Zoro.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the speech tail is arcing towards Zoro.
Okay.
I think it's just meant to show that he's weak.
Okay, that would explain that.
I think Zoro is saying...
We're all alive thanks to your benevolence.
Yeah, I think he's saying, you're alive, Roronoa.
Right.
Roronoa. And Zoro says, well, thanks to your benevolence.
Okay.
Right. I think that's what... But then he does ask, if you were to go on vacation, where would you go?
And then...
Which is the same thing he asked Perona.
Yes, I know.
Yep.
I know. And because the reference is drawn in here.
Yes. Nami says that she saw him do it to Perona, which she did.
Which makes me wonder, is somebody going to end up with Perona?
God, fuck, you're good.
and then the question, I had that thought when I read it, and then which one ends up with her? Okay.
I'm not cueing you into that one, but
so
I hate how accurate your thoughts are. Because some of these are thoughts you have while you're reading, and I see them in your notes, and some of them are thoughts you have while we're discussing.
Right,
and
right
you're just like, yeah, you're like, there's a thought.
Yeah, you can see.
I can see the wheels turning.
Yeah,
you know.
When I go back and I watch these, right,
you can see it. Yeah.
Where I realize that I'm looking inward. I'm not looking outward, and I can see it when I have these moments. And that was the Frankie moment, predicting who's the next member of the crew.
Yeah. It's not Frankie, is it? That is a top 10 moment for sure.
Okay, Kuma saying, "We will never see each other again. And farewell." Boom. And my thought is, I don't buy that. My thought is we're going to see him again. And I have one underlying, that's really the end of my notes for this section. I have one underlying thought on that, and I think I shared this with you in a phone call. I'm not certain. I think Kuma's working on behalf of Garp in this right here. And the reason being, early on in this, there's a scene at the headquarters, and Garp says to one of the high-ranking Marines, "Don't tell anyone, I will take care of this." And when I read that, I thought to myself, oh, cool, we're going to see Garp in action. He's going to show up and he's going to do something. This is going to be fun. And then there's no references to Garp for the rest of this arc. But then we get Kuma, who not only shows up and basically saves everybody, for the second time, he defies Kizaru by saying if it's not a matter, what does he say? If it's not a matter of the world government, I don't have to listen to you?
Yeah, because the warlords are not Marines.
Right.
They don't work for the Marines, they work for the world. They're pirates who've been offered amnesty, or they're powerful people who've been offered amnesty.
Yes.
In order for working for the world government. Otherwise, they're kind of allowed to operate how they wish.
Yes, and that's a huge line. So, so what is it? He says, Rayleigh is talking to him. He says, "You expect me to believe you're the real Kuma." Kuma says, "That's up to you. I'm endangering my position by doing this." So he's endangering his position as a warlord by doing this, I'm assuming. And then, what's the meaning of this Kuma? That's asked by Kizaru. And he says, "In matters that don't involve the government, I'm not required to cooperate with the Navy. I won't answer your question." And so, look, I know you're not going to tip your hat on this one, and that's fine.
No, I'll just say you will find out.
I'm pretty sure we'll find out, but I've been suspecting all along that Garp is behind Kuma showing up and doing all of this stuff, and that's one of my official predictions. I'll live or die by the prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where I've got with that one.
There's some other big things that get announced. Some of the, I'm gonna call them, because they eventually get renamed to this, a couple get added to it, but the other 7 rookies, I'm just gonna call them by what they eventually are called anyway. They're called the Supernovas.
Yeah, I picked that up, but
are they mentioned? Are they called that in this section? Okay, cool. I'm remembering it correctly. Yeah. Okay, so they're called the Supernovas as like a name for the group,
right,
of these like 7 rookies,
right.
Oh,
Trafalgar Kid and Luffy battling together was just classic. That was so much fun. It really was. I almost asked you to bring the hat. I was going to ask if I could borrow it and wear it. I
almost brought it. I'm going to wait until a little bit longer before we break out Law's hat.
Okay.
It really becomes a little more relevant to the story, but yeah. I think it's Drake. Francis Drake.
Right.
Ex Drake.
Right.
Which is obviously a reference
to,
you know, they even say he used to be
he was a rear admiral.
Rear admiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Admiral Francis Drake, yeah. Obviously. Yeah. It's just fun where he pulls these names from. It's fun. Is reading a newspaper on what's going on in at the end of one of the chapters.
Right.
And do you remember what he's reading?
No. I can picture the artwork in my head, but
he says something about war. There's going to be a war. They basically declared war. The government has declared war.
Oh yeah, he does say something like that.
Does he say I am 90% sure this is in the official translation, but they reveal something happens.
Do you remember which chapter that was?
Let me see the book, because we'll pull it up for you, because...
Look,
let's see.
I can't remember it all.
He says it's before he fights with Kizaru, Law, Kid, and Luffy just taking out Marines casually. Nope, it's before this because we also see the guy who owns the auction house call.
Oh yeah, Doflamingo.
Doflamingo.
Yeah,
Doflamingo also reiterates that. Reiterates what Drake said. All right, you know what? I'm gonna
because we jumped around in my notes so much. I actually had that written down, and I will also tell you that the panels of Law looking at Luffy, because Luffy blows up, hits, shrinks, and he's like, "That didn't work out too well for you, did it?" But the interesting thing was, he immediately learns one of Luffy's weaknesses. He learns the weakness, and you can... That character's got intelligence drawn in his eyes.
Yes, he does.
And so...
Yes, you're spot on. Yes.
You know this is going to come back in the future.
Ace is scheduled to be executed.
Yes.
Is what Drake...
Oh, is that what that was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we know... But I knew that. We talked about that once before.
Yes, but it's officially put in the newspapers, and then Drake says, "You think Whitebeard is going to stand by? They just declared war."
Yeah, okay.
The government just declared war.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Doflamingo says, "The Whitebeard pirates versus
the war.
The
I've got that.
7 warlords of the sea."
I wrote that down in my notes, and
which is the massive development happening behind the scenes.
I didn't put those two together quite that clearly.
That's what.
But so here's the other thing. I'm not criticizing Mama Peaches. I'm really not. When she mentioned we're getting to the 2-year time skip, I turned to her and I said, Ace cannot be alive under the threat of execution for 2 years in this storyline. If they announce they're going to execute him, it would be happening quickly. So he's got to be saved before the skip. It doesn't make sense to not be. It would be like...
This plot point has to happen before.
Right. Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
And because I know that... I know this.
I'm sorry.
Well, I buy the books in twos, so
Yeah.
I already know the next book name is Impelled Down. I've got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where this comes after Amazon Island, I don't know, but yeah, there's all those little plot points along the way that
it's gonna be fun. It's a fun ride. So yeah, we've got that brewing in the background, and then Doflamingo is like, we got Whitebeard versus the 7 warlords,
right?
And he says the 7 warlords,
yes.
Which means, what are we going to get? We're going to get every active warlord.
Oh, yeah, together in one room. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that would be very interesting to see how 7 warlords coordinate and cooperate with each other.
You know what that also means?
What?
Mihawk.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. And what power could challenge Mihawk?
Well, I mean, if we're setting up, if you want to think
Mihawk
about it,
Kizaru would be a heck of a battle.
Well, we've seen Whitebeard already. We've seen the power Whitebeard has. Because if they're getting called back, if it's going to be the Whitebeard Pirates versus the 7 Warlords,
in battle with all of this power, is there a scene where Zoro... Is there a scene where Zoro uses his sword handiwork to save Mihawk? I'm wondering if becoming the greatest swordsman...
I love seeing your thing work, but
let me finish this thought real quick.
Keep going.
I've always assumed that Zoro becoming the greatest swordsman was Zoro defeating Mihawk, but what if he becomes the greatest swordsman because he saves Mihawk in a situation where Mihawk can't save himself? Because that would be the transfer of power. Now, that's not a prediction, mind you. That's just my gears turning right here.
That.
Yeah,
I like that. We've seen Whitebeard.
Yes.
We've seen the power that he holds.
Yes.
There's another scene going on with Rayleigh. That is a callback to the meeting of Whitebeard and Shanks.
Okay.
In the auction house.
Okay.
Just make sure you pick up on a couple things.
Okay.
What does he do when he steps out from behind the screen?
I'd have to go back and take a look.
Everyone in the auction house, besides from like the Straw Hats and the other.
The hockey, they all fall over. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I did actually catch that.
Cool.
And I caught who didn't fall over.
Yes.
Because you've got Law there, you've got the
Law
bear there.
I love Law just chilling.
He is chill.
He is just chilling.
And
I love the bear. The bear's name is Beppo, by the way.
Beppo Bear?
Beppo. Just Beppo.
Just Beppo?
I love Beppo. And I love him flipping around and kicking people.
Oh, yeah.
And I love, sorry, this is where the inner 12-year-old action figures comes out. Because not only do you get a scene of Luffy and Law and Kid all fighting and plowing through fodder Marines.
Okay.
And supposedly better than average Marines because they're so close to Mergeois.
Right.
That they're just plowing through. Not only do you get that, but you also get each one of them has a subordinate that jumps in and stops a Marine from attacking their captain. So not only do we get a flex of all the captains and how strong they are, we also get a flex of their subordinates and how strong they are. And what a way to set, if you're going to introduce like 7 new characters, 7 ish new characters? What a way to set the bar.
Well, and
also, did you notice that the one wearing the mask, Killer, is Kid's subordinate?
Yes.
But he's also listed among these high-ranking, high-bounty individuals.
Oh, yeah.
His second in command is listed alongside all these other captains. But he's that's just a fun little detail.
Yeah,
it's
sure,
like, okay, we're elevating this guy in particular to be.
Look at how many members of the Straw Hat crew. I mean, basically, you're showing that the other crews function just like the Straw Hats in that they've got a powerful crew underneath a powerful captain.
Yes.
And that the powerful crew can have bounties of their own, even though...
Yes, right. It's just a fun little way to flesh out. It's like, it's not just the Straw Hats. They're not... The Straw Hats are unique, but they're not so unique. There's so many other powerful crews. They're not the only ones doing this, which is just a wonderful...
But what we don't get with
exploration,
because the focus is on a Straw Hat crew, is what is the philosophy of each individual captain, as opposed to what we just learned about Luffy.
We do learn about Kid. They say that he is notorious for ransacking and pillaging.
Yes,
and
he's a traditional pirate.
He's But it's fun.
So here we go.
Oda's one of those authors that's like, oh crap, I introduced all these characters, now I got to use them.
And I have to do something with them.
He has to do. That's what he did with the 7 Warlords, because it was originally going to be like 3, but then he was like, 3's not interesting. Let's make it 7, and then he was like, damn it, now I got to do something with all of them.
And then if you then swat your 9 main characters to different parts of the world, you have time to come up with ways of using those, because you've got to get everybody back together with one log pose that went in one direction and nobody else has one.
So this is...
I just realized that.
What I am so excited for the stretch of story that is coming.
Okay.
And I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to like what happens overall. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that surprises you.
I'm sure there will be. Because we never have put up the idea of the counter. Which predictions do I get right and which predictions do I get wrong? Because
that'll take a long time.
I swing and a miss on a few of them.
That's going to take sitting through this. That's going to take me going back and rewatching every single one of our videos.
It's not worth it.
But if anyone wants to help me, when we get to that point, I'll put out a call to get help.
I would love it if somebody came up with the how many times do I get it wrong number.
Later. Once we're caught up. Once we're caught up. Once the series ends, really. There's some things that you might have said that might not.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Things that might not happen.
So,
until the end.
So, I had an idea.
Okay.
And I had an idea, and it came after looking at not only the punch of St. Charlos, but an equally powerful. I came up with the name Power Panel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a power panel, and I'm going to put another word in front of it: the iconic power panel, because you get power panels, and then you get power panels.
Yes.
Zoro slashing. Perfect vertical slash of Cammy's tank to rescue her is so underplayed, and I will argue it is as strong as the St. Charlos punch.
I think as a power move, yes. I think as impact on the reader, I wouldn't say it has the same.
But and it doesn't. It's not the I'm taking on the world punch.
No,
that punch is. But that is one sensational power move.
If you want to, it is a great power move. I would say if you want the iconic power panel, that's in that same category as a Charlos punch in terms of impact on the story. It's the nothing happened panel. It's the two panels of nothing happened.
Well,
it's the panel of him standing there cross-armed and bloody as hell,
right?
And then the nothing happened at all.
Yeah.
I think that would be the one that you would put in the same.
I want to know what your power panel is. When you think One Piece, when you think what is the best panel through Chapter 514, you can't give us one that's not Chapter 5 or afterwards, because it could be a spoiler. But up to this point, when you think One Piece, when you think, what's the panel of artwork that stands out in your mind as this is the definition of One Piece?
I'm going to make here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make a Google form.
Okay.
I'll let you all fill it out. The link will be in the description of this video.
Ooh.
And probably a few more.
Okay.
What we're going to do is probably every few videos I'll drop this.
Okay.
That way we'll do this one. We'll come around. I'm gonna say, don't look at the Google form.
Okay.
And I'll take the panel. Find either take a photo of your book, or find a scan.
Right.
And what we're gonna do is put in your YouTube name if you want to be named. I'll have a photo upload option.
Okay.
On the Google form, and then a little description block of why you like it so much. And closer to the end, closer to getting caught up.
Okay.
We will do an entire video.
Okay.
Looking at the power panels.
Okay.
You don't look at it. Let's not put the hard limit because we'll drop it.
Okay.
Don't look at it. I'll look at it in the meantime.
Okay.
It'll be very different from the rest of the Google document stuff, so you'll be able to see it. And at the end of this, we'll look at our community's favorite iconic power panels. How's that sound?
I think that's great. I wanted to make this journey a little more interactive. I wanted to make it a little more everybody gets to participate and join along.
Oh yeah.
And I just love to see what your thoughts are on this, rather than just read them in the comments. I love the comments, but since artwork is so critical to this, right?
Yeah, and we'll share everyone's.
With everyone.
That'd be fun. It'll be like show and tell.
It'll be a great video.
Yeah, it'll be a great video. So, yeah.
All right.
You know we're gonna have to pick up pumping these videos out at that rate then.
Well, you know, look, I'm doing as fast as I can.
Or
yeah.
Or from here on out, I'll find examples from the current chapter, and then we'll do them in the chapter, in the section review, in the arc videos. Do you want to do this one big video, or do you want to do it as we go? And then at the end of each One Piece video, we'll have a selection of power panels.
Oh,
you want to do that instead?
I like it. All right, but we got to do one where. Can we do one where we catch up to this point and then?
Yes.
Do yes. It's free content. We might as well.
Okay, there will be a chapter number question on the Google form.
Oh,
okay, so just fill out the form in the description below. Fill it out. After this, we'll do one up to this point.
Right.
And then in each subsequent One Piece video, we're going to do a power panel section.
Oh, that's great.
At the end.
I love
Let's
this.
do that.
I love this.
And the form will be in the description of all the videos. So
that's fantastic.
Point out.
Yes.
Yes.
That's great. That's great.
Yes. All right. So.
Here we go. Okay.
Hey, we forgot to talk about something.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Sorry.
I had to tack something onto the end here before we said goodbye. So don't touch that pause button. We were talking about the world nobles.
Yes.
And their cruelty.
Yes.
And then we skipped ahead to talking about... We didn't talk about them outside of... We talked about the pirate who got his bomb collar exploded.
Right.
And then got executed. And then you were going to continue with that thought process. You had notes on that. Well, it was like closer to the beginning of your notes on this section.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything while we still have the camera rolling?
Well, I thought that it was pretty spectacular that Rayleigh had the ability to get Cammy's bomb ring off and explode it, far away from her. I mean, it just went to his power. That we still don't quite know about. Shaki, the bar owner, makes a reference that she was chased by Garp, and I couldn't decide if that was because she was a pirate or because Garp had the thing for her. Really, I wondered. Maybe Garp was interested in her. I thought it was great that Nami volunteered to use all of the ship's treasure to buy back Cammy. Mm-hmm. I mean, for the girl who is so... treasure motivated and so money motivated, she didn't hesitate to say, we'll play their own game. Now, she's immediately blown away by the 500 million berry, but that's huge character growth.
Oh,
that shows where her heart is.
Oh, yeah. Especially with how much I think money is kind of a comfort to her.
It is.
So the fact that she's willing to spend it on someone she would consider a friend.
So, maybe I didn't... Oh, I skipped over this right here. Garp says, well, we talked about this a little bit. Garp says, leave this to me. Now is an especially bad time. Do you want the Navy to take on two legends at the same time? I thought it was an interesting comment in that, who are the two legends is one Rayleigh, but who's the second legend? Because we got the supernovas, we got all the new guys.
Yeah, they're all newbies.
Right. So who's the second legend? At
the beginning, when Garp on Dark King Silver's Rayleigh.
Yeah.
Oh, Rayleigh being sold at the auction. He's talking about Rayleigh being sold at the auction. Doesn't he say Rayleigh likes to do that for fun?
He likes to do it to pay off his gambling debts. Yeah.
I mean, what a.
Okay, so I put a note down here. I like the way the crew joined the fight once Luffy threw the first punch. They didn't hesitate. They all jumped in, all 9. Something I was going to say earlier and I didn't. Usopp never runs away in this fight.
Yeah.
Except for when everybody's running for cover. So there's this Usopp character arc, and you just see that, right? And so the question is, when does he realize it? Because we are seeing it.
Yes.
His character has changed. Chapter 504, I wrote... I talked about that. That's the Zoro's an idiot. We re-meet Doflamingo, his call with Disco. He predicts Whitebeard pirates versus the 7 warlords of the sea, and I wrote here that's going to be quite the battle.
Yes.
The bomb thing, the pirate team up was cool. I think I covered pretty much all of this.
Okay, cool. I know we jumped ahead to the bar. Chunk, it's okay.
Let's meet again in the New World is said with enthusiasm. Hey, Wigglebutt. Hey, hush.
Hey.
Hush. Good girl. Then Law says, I'm glad we caught this. Law says, Captain Gene Bart, he saves him.
Yes.
And he says, do you want to join my crew? And he says, and Bart says, you saved me. I will serve under you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Law says, give half the credit to Luffy. Now, what pirate shares in the credit when he could have taken it all himself? I mean, there's a character trait, there's a character reveal in Law there when he just voluntarily says, give half the credit to this guy. He saved you too. So, I mean, that's just another one of those stored in the back of your mind for when you learn more about Law. Why did I put a note here? Pink 4. Oh, this whole line right here of people reacting to we're up against an admiral. And I had mentioned, Luffy saying, I hope we don't die. But you get this great panel of everybody's individual reactions to going up against that. Then the rest of it was the bar fight the bar conversation between Robin and
Okay, cool. Because we jumped ahead from Bomb Collar to
I was all over the place in my notes here.
Yeah,
I was just too excited to get from one thing to the next.
I'll take this section of the video and I'll just clump it in right before we do the buy. Yeah, here we go.
So
Sabaody. I'm so excited for what's coming next. I love this section of story. There's so much going on.
What are your thoughts? First of all, thank you for joining us this far on the journey. Woo! What are your thoughts on Sabaody and everything that we've done? Leave your comments below. Click like if you haven't.
Yeah.
Subscribe
if you wanna continue following along with this journey. I know 60% of you aren't subscribed. I have analytics.
Then don't
I'm not going to flash the graph at you. Don't worry.
Don't complain if you don't get notice of a video.
Actually, the bell will help you if you have. If you are one of those people that are like, why doesn't YouTube notify me? I don't know if you have the bell rung. I mean, I know there's personalized notifications, but
play some Patti LaBelle here. You can ring my bell. Is that Patti LaBelle? I think so.
I think so. But you know what? Thank you all. No matter what, at the end of the day, we just appreciate you being on this journey with us. So thank you all so much for tuning in video after video. This is a fun series to make. It's really fun.
Like March, we're closing in on 3 years.
I know. 4.
4? Is it 4 years?
4 years.
3? Yeah, we've been doing this a while, and I love it. I just absolutely love it.
For a while.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. We will catch you next time.
Bye-bye.